You're right guys, how's it going? Bit different today. I want to compare two indoor hydroponic systems. If you know me, you know I like hydroponics. I've had this one for a long time and its bigger brother, and we'll talk about those in a minute. And I want to compare it to the newer iDOO IG301. So let's see how we get on, eh? Okay, then I've just done a quick speed unboxing and assembly of the iDOO system. So chat about the two of them, subtly different. This is a 6-pod, this is a 12-pod. I've had this Aerogarden Harvest 6 years, yeah, 6 years now, 2016 I bought it. Done me well. I've got its bigger brother, the Bounty as well. So let's start off with the height above the deck. Do you see that? I can't see it, I'll measure it anyway. 11 inches just about. And I'm sure this is about the same. Yeah, exactly 11 inches. So they are the same, you can see the difference in height there. One thing to note to start off with is the cables are not visible on this one. Whereas here you've got two cables, power cable and the cable from the light and the fan down to the water pump. This one has no fan. This one has a fan in the lid. I'll show you that, hang on. There we are, a fan in the lid. Why it's got a fan, I'm not quite sure. Like I said, this is a 12-pod system, but it's riddled with holes everywhere. For each pod has two holes by it. And I'm not sure what they're for, and I think they could be a problem. There are holes in this one as well. Let me unplug it a second, take the tank off. I'll take the lid off. There are holes in this one as well, but they're blanked off. In fact, it came with plastic blanks and I've changed them for a bit of green cane because I lost one. I also lost the filling port lid, if you like, you want to call it that. So I made a little one up out of an old plant pot. This one's got one as well, little rubber one over here. Oh, there we are, it slides off, slides open for filling. And interestingly, let's turn this round. Let's unplug it a minute because it's in the way. Turn it round. This one has a drain port. Now, I'm not quite sure if I like that or not, because a rubber bung indoors, I mean, that come out so easy. A rubber bung indoors could easily fall off and next thing you know, you've got water everywhere. And to make that even worse, 2 seconds, to make it a little bit more suspicious, is they give you a spare one. So why would you want a spare one if you're not going to lose it and it's secure anyway? So anyway, that's that. So they're both good looking units. I'm pretty sure this one's not on the market anymore. I can't find it on Amazon anywhere. Still available in the US, it's still available overseas, but the Aerogardens were never well supported in the UK, despite it being I think it's a good bit of kit anyway. Subtly different how they work, and we'll see that when I top them up with water. Right, so let's do the new one first. Right, first thing you notice, declaration of conformity, which is for the UK, which is good, and it does have the company address in the UK. A lot of these Chinese imports have a foreign CE mark, when it's not called CE mark anymore, but you know what I mean. And really, they're not valid. They must have a UK address on them, so that's good. Good in there, iDOO. Like I say, comprehensive manual, loads of languages, but only, there we are, it stops there for the UK. 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 pages. Loads of safety warnings, they both have. I had to download the manual for this one because I've had it so long I've lost it. Virtually similar. Both have very good advice. Both tell you to fill with tap water or distilled water. Do not use soft water. Do not use well water, more of an Americanism I suppose, and do not use stored water because the high level of nutrients in it can mess up the nutrients in the tanks. And soft water's got a lot of sodium in it, and that can lead to browning of the leaves. You know, you don't want too much sodium in your plants. Both of these are fairly restricted on what you can grow. 11 inches, salads probably. My larger one, which grows to 24 inches, can't even see my hand up there, look. I use that for herbs in the winter, so your dill and the fennel and things like that in the winter. I've turned it off 2 months ago now, I think, because I'm growing it in the greenhouse now. What we got then? We got the deck, we got the lid, we got the fan, we got the LEDs. Tells you how to add the water, tells you how to add the nutrients, tells you how to assemble the pods. So I think the best thing to do is to do this one first and then do the one I'm used to. So let's get rid of this for a minute. I'll put everything in a little bowl, make it easier so you ferreting around. It's got a quick start guide as well, which is useful. Just a reminder for people who know what they're doing. If you're using it for the first time, read the book. Always read the book. Don't do a Tim the Toolman Taylor. Real men don't read instructions. Now there is a bit of conflicting information. One says to, I think it's the manual says to put the seeds into the wet sponge, and one says put it in a dry sponge. I'm going to put it in a dry sponge, then assemble it all. Okay, so let's just go through it. First thing we need to do is make up the nutrients. Part A and Part B, you add them at the rate of 5 litres per litre, 4 litre tank, so 20 mil of each. So the first thing we've got to do is dilute them. 100 mil. Handy that the cap's got a measuring scale on it as well, so that's good. Well guys, it's just about here as I'm putting the 4 litres of water into the iDOO that the sound went all over the shop, and I know what it is now. I've got a broken cable on my lav mic, and luckily early in the video it's been the 2 parts of the cable have been touching, but as soon as I moved to get the hose they separated. If I remember at the end I'll stick a little sample so you can hear what it sounds like. It's blooming awful. Right, I plugged it in, we got power on. And there we are, we got the fan running and we're in a vegetable mode, fan and water. Well, I want to turn the lights off actually, there we are. So the lights are off, I want to show you the pump. Right, in this iDOO model, what the pump does, it just circulates the water around the tank. Just mixes up the nutrients, keeps the water fresh if you like. Here we are. And if you don't want the fan on, for example, like now when we're doing the seedlings, all you've got to do is, see it, keep your finger on the fan button, and there you are, it's off. You can hear the fan, it's a little bit noisy. Now it's a bit the same as a PC fan, PC cabinet fan's no worse than that. So keep your finger on the button for 3 seconds, turns the fan off, touch the button again, quick look, sorry. Yeah, pump's still running, touch the button again, pump turns off. Okay then, load up the seeds. Now I'm going to tell you something straight away. I'm not going to put any nutrient in now because I'm going to move this indoors afterwards. I don't want to be carrying 4 litres of water around because I will trip over the back doorstep, sure as eggs is eggs. Seeds I'm using for this are salad mix, salad leaves, Speedy mix, and it says on the back, salad leaves in about 25 days. And to make things a bit easier for myself, I scattered a few seeds on the worktop there and just sprinkled a few seeds into each of the sponges. They're called sponges, but I think they're made of peat. Don't know what they're going to do in a couple of years' time when there's no peat, but there you are. So, and I was expecting the sponge to start floating, but it didn't, and it soaked up water really, really quickly. I'm only going to use 6 of the baskets and sponges. They're supplied with 12 baskets, 24 sponges actually. So I use what I need and fit the blanks onto the empty holes. Now, this is the concern I have with this. The blanks are supplied to stop light getting into the nutrient. But light is going to get down through these little holes, and light is going to get on top of the sponges. So I think we are going to get algae growth. Now, since I've had this unit, I've done a bit of Googling and YouTubing, and there are numerous reviews that say to cover these holes up with masking tape, electrical tape, stop the light getting in. Not sure. I'm going to do it as it's supplied because that's the fair test, and the same with these. Alright, and nearly there with the iDOO. One good point it does make in the manual is to keep the light as low as possible onto the plants. It's better to prune the plants often rather than raise the light up. Stops them going all leggy. There we are, just testing it, make sure everything's working. And the sponges are getting, well, they're heavy now. They're soaked up, totally soaked up the moisture, the water. One more thing to note, you'll see it here, is it uses a very blurple light. So it's very reddy bluey. Let me put it onto the, there we are, see that's the flower mode, that's red and white. And back to vegetable mode. Red, blue and white. That could be a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for? That's word. Distracting in your front room, because I keep mine in my front room. Got no room anywhere else. Instruction manual, because I knew I'd forget something. Clean the pump once a month. Now that's a bit worrying. Ensure there are no plant roots trapped in the pump. So you've got to clean the tank, clean the pump and trim the roots. Cables are a bit unsightly. Perhaps they could be, I don't know, well hidden. I can't even tie them in because they're a bit far apart. Perhaps if they were a bit closer maybe. Say the kit does not include seeds, but nor does the Aerogarden once you've used it once. You've got to buy new seeds, so don't worry. And you get to choose what seeds you grow, you know what I mean? Right, one last little thing to do and we're all set to go, and that is to fit the little dome caps, or whatever you want to call them, onto the baskets. They just keep the moisture up a little bit. Take them off when the seedling is just about touching the top. Right, there's one little bit of info in the manual that I cannot get my head round. Tip number 2. The basket label is to prevent the sponge from getting mouldy/algae. So how does the label do that? I can't figure it out unless it's covered with an algae side or something. And there's nowhere to put it when the domes are on. You could put it in the little holes, but they can't be for that because there's 24 of them. Oh well. I've Googled it and I've looked everywhere. I can't find any gumph on that whatsoever. Okay, then on with the Aerogarden. A tank unit with a pump. Takes a little bit less water. I think it takes about 3 litres this one. And the lid is hollow. It's made of 2 pieces. I'm just going to fill it up and I'll show you. When you start the pump, it sprays or lifts out of a spout. And with the lid, or the basket holder if you like, fitted, that spout is diverted into the gap between the 2 parts of the lid, and it sprays out into the holes. See the water spray or flows into the basket. a bit like my solar hydroponics for the tomatoes. So a notable difference. Have a quick look at the Aerogarden control panel. Very similar to the iDOO one, but there's no fan there. Lights on and off. On this one you can select veggies, that's 16 hours of lights. Herbs, 18 hours of lights, or you can have 24 hours of lights. So, there we are. When you get a low water level, an alarm goes off and it tells you to add more water. This light comes on here, add water. And every 2 weeks it tells you to add nutrients. So it's more automated, if you like. Once you've added the nutrients, you press reset and the timer starts again. The water pump runs for, now I'm pretty sure it's 2 minutes every hour. Yeah, 2 minutes every hour. So it's not 30 minutes like the other one, 2 minutes. So I think the best thing to do now is to turn it off and top them up. The Aerogarden refill kits come with a liquid nutrient, so you haven't got to mix it, and it's an all-in-one. And with the 6-pod model, you just add 8 ml every time it tells you. So I'll put the seeds on the table again on the worktop, 2 or 3 in the sponge, and what you do this time is you push the sponge through the light excluder. And on the light excluder, or label if you like, there's room to write the name of the seeds. Handy. And this time I'm putting the little domes on top as I go. I don't know why I bothered really, because it's so windy they kept blowing off. I'm only doing 4 baskets this time and fitting the light excluders. I made my own light excluders. I lost the originals a long time ago. Well, that's them all done. Just to turn it on now and test it. And once again I'll put the nutrient in later because I'll be emptying the tank to take it indoors. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the light stays the same colour no matter what mode it's in. So that's veggies, 16 hours, herbs, 18 hours, and on for 24 hours. So it's the same colour all the time. It's a nice white light. I'm not a great fan of the blurples. They mess everything up. Mess my eyes up, mess the camera up. Okay then, one more thing to do, and that is a control sample. Both of the indoor hydroponic systems claim to be faster than conventional, and that's something I've never tried. So same seed, I don't know, about a dozen in there, just sprinkled in, lightly covered, and I'll put those in the front windowsill. Just see if they grow at the same rate or not. Okay then, here they are, up in the food studio. Yeah, you can see the Aerogarden's a white light. And the iDOO is a blurple. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this, guys. Just a comparison really between the 2 indoor hydroponic systems and of course the control. One thing's for certain, I'll have plenty of lettuce type leaves in 3 weeks. I'll do a follow-up video as soon as things start moving. Have a great week, guys. Take care and look after yourselves. And it will dribble into the seed basket.